Hi, Courtney Kennedy here, the Nutrition and Education Manager at Good Shepherd Food Bank. And today we're making a quick and easy lasagna utilizing foods that are in the Farm to Families boxes. So that includes some meatballs. These are chicken meatballs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some of these up into bite-sized pieces. So I'm going to add this to our sauce versus, let's say, a ground meat, such as turkey. So I'm going to cut these meatballs up into bite-sized pieces. I'm going to add them to my bowl. Now remember, these meatballs are already cooked, so they don't need to be, let's say, reheated before they're put into the lasagna to be baked at this point. So, you know, I do a lot of eyeballing with my food about how much I think I need. So remember that this is going to be the filling for, or the saucy part for the lasagna. You know, and I live with just 2 people in my household, so I make loaf pan lasagnas. I make smaller versions of a large pan lasagna because I don't necessarily want to eat lasagna for days and days and days. So what I do is I make 3 individual loaf pan lasagnas. That way I can eat one and then I can put another one into the freezer. So I'm just gonna show you one of the loaf pan lasagnas today. I'm not gonna do all 3, but I can show you. So we have the chicken meatballs. We also have some of this wonderful sausage. So I'm gonna take one of these and I'm gonna cut it up as well into bite-sized pieces and add that to my mixture. So here we go. Cutting this up just simply into bite-sized pieces. You can actually use really any meat that you have. I sometimes like to add pepperoni to my lasagna. It just depends on if I have some leftover ground meat sausage maybe I want to put in there. So here we go. I have about a cup of meat. I am going to add just jarred sauce into the bowl. So growing up, my mom always used cottage cheese in our lasagna. We never used ricotta cheese. So this is what I am used to growing up with, is utilizing cottage cheese in my lasagna. So I'm just gonna take about a cup of the cottage cheese and add it to the bowl. The one thing about cottage cheese is that it does seem to be a little looser. So one of the things that you do wanna add is an egg to the cottage cheese. Just go ahead and simply add that egg in there and mix it up. So the thing about lasagna is it's all about layering. So let me get my layers together. I have grated mozzarella cheese. I have the meatballs, the meat, the sausage and the sauce. And finally, I have the ricotta cheese. The cottage cheese, not the ricotta cheese. And then the noodles. So here we go. I start with a scoop of the sauce and meat, just as a simple layer in the bottom of the pan. And again, I'm just gonna use one pan here. So just a simple layer of the sauce. Next comes a lasagna noodle. Now today I've opted for these already oven ready noodles. You don't have to boil these, so they actually come just like this, and I fit that lasagna noodle into the foil pan that I have. Then I'm gonna add a layer of the cottage cheese, spreading that evenly over the noodle. Then I'm going to add some mozzarella cheese. And finally, some sauce. Guess what? We get to do it all over again until all of the pan is filled to the top. So let me show you. Fresh out of the oven this wonderful loaf pan lasagna that we created. Look at the golden cheese on top. This was in the oven at 350 degrees for about 30-35 minutes. I cannot wait to dive in. It smells heavenly. One tip about lasagna, you need to let it rest for a few minutes before you cut into it or it'll just turn into a pile of mush. So we're gonna let this rest and then dive in. Enjoy.